Today in our lineup here on The Now, we're talking about more opportunities to develop better paying careers. Companies are doing everything they can to hold on to workers, what one big industry is promising to do, and what you need to know if you're considering a career shift. What are your rights if police ask to search your phone? We're looking at new questions about whether an officer can force you to give them your passcode, and we're going to talk to one man who ended up in jail over this. Well, sometimes a cancer diagnosis comes too late for treatment. How these dogs are training to change that.
Thank you, Chris. This is The Now Indy on RTV6. I'm Amanda Starantino. What's stopping people from having a meaningful career? As a part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative here on RTV6, our Stephanie Wade checked out a unique job and networking opportunity that's happening this week at the Indiana Convention Center. She shows us how this free professional development conference could help you advance your career.
If you can think about an area of opportunity for yourself that you'd like to improve on, what would that be, and how would you go about trying to improve on that?
Going into an interview can be intimidating, but here at the National Urban League Career and Networking Fair, you can get coached and actually practice a mock interview for free.
If I had a particular job opening, I'd ask you specifically why you're interested in that role.
Maybe their resume isn't together, or maybe they're just nervous because they haven't really interviewed. They don't know what to say. They don't know the questions you should ask at the end. They don't even know who's hiring and what those folks are looking for.
With more than 100 exhibitors from major companies hiring locally.
Definitely looking at Roche Diagnostics right now, so I hope they give me a chance.
The National Urban League, which aims to diversify the workplace, hopes this will advance people's careers and professional development.
People just don't have the network that they need to get these opportunities. And sometimes it's just a fear and a lack of confidence in oneself.
Creating a LinkedIn profile and having a headshot is one way you can network and find out about job opportunities online. And they'll even take your picture for you right here.
And we have people here who will sit with you and talk to you about your LinkedIn profile and help you kind of make it right. So when recruiters are looking on LinkedIn, they'll find you.
People are looking for help everywhere and anywhere, but then at the same time, they don't know where to go.
Hopefully building that network here, people will be picture perfect ready to go out and get that dream job.
The opportunities are there. It's just that we need to go ahead and believe in ourselves to go ahead and get out there and actually grab it.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Thanks, Steph. And the conference runs through Saturday at 5 p.m. It takes place in Hall B at the Indiana Convention Center downtown. Kevin.
Well, temperatures is not quite the story yet. They will be over the weekend as we get back to summer warmth, but until then, we're in pretty good shape. No matter what direction you look, the sky's mostly sunny. Eagle Creek Park, you can bet, is a popular place this evening. Temperature 80 degrees with lots of sunshine. The east wind around 10. It'll be a little better for sailing on Eagle Creek Reservoir as we get to the weekend and the wind picks up a bit. Take a look at temperature. 81 in Lafayette, 2 degrees warmer in Muncie. Temperature still in the upper 70s in Bloomington. No rain within a few states of Indiana. It will be until Monday before we see rain. Any clouds that you see now will be gone tonight. Skies will be clear, the wind will be light, and the temperature 71 at 11 o'clock tonight.
Executions for federal death row inmates will start again soon after nearly 2 decades. The Justice Department announced today 5 inmates are scheduled to be executed starting in December. President Obama put executions on hold in 2014 for a review after a botched state execution in Oklahoma. Now that review's done, the Justice Department says it's replacing the 3-drug procedure that was previously used for federal executions with a single drug. Well, there are more efforts this week to cut down prescription drug costs. 2 senators introduced a bill to help people on Medicare save money. Drug copays for people with the Part D prescription plan would be capped at $3,100 a year. Drug makers would pay a penalty if a drug's price goes up faster than inflation. Now, the proposal would also give doctors new tools. The tools would help them estimate just how much the prescription would cost the patient. Democrats want to go even further with the bill and have Medicare negotiate drug prices with pharmaceutical companies. Now, while the bill does have support from both sides, some say it still doesn't tackle one of the biggest problems in drug prices, which is the initial launch price of medications. Well, if the proposal becomes law, it is expected to save patients more than $27 billion in out-of-pocket costs over the span of 10 years. The price cap would take effect in 2022. There may be a simple way to take better care of our elders and save a lot of money in the long run. The Bipartisan Policy Center looked at ways Medicare can do a better job of coordinating care for the most frail and vulnerable. It found Medicare could save money if seniors have healthy meals delivered to their home after being in the hospital. Could save about $57 million a year. Now that's after you factor in food costs. We went to Meals on Wheels to explain why programs like this work.
We know that Meals on Wheels helps people feel safer, more secure. We know that people who are receiving Meals on Wheels service who've had falls have been able to have issues addressed that cause them to fall in the home and to reduce the rate of their falls.
Now, Meals on Wheels says that you can feed a senior for a year for the same amount of money it costs them to stay in the hospital for a day. All right, let's get back to our lineup. We know the job market is tight. Companies are doing everything they can to hold on to workers, and we're going to show you what one big industry is promising to do and what you need to know if you are considering a career shift.
And Keller, right now.
Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. A southern Indiana woman is accused of stealing another person's dentures and wearing them to her probation meeting. The Jennings County Sheriff's Office sent us this picture of the actual stolen dentures. Deputies say the crime happened Monday. According to investigators in Jennings County, the victim said she knew the person who stole her fake teeth and said the woman who took the dentures had been wearing them around town. Deputies spoke to the suspect's probation officer, who said they met with the woman and she was wearing teeth that clearly were not hers. The suspect faces one charge of theft.
Let's start the news feed. MGM is making changes after complaints that its guard uniforms look like images from the Holocaust. The guards wearing yellow shirts with 6-pointed stars on them. Well, Samsung is getting ready for its second shot at selling its folding phone. The company says it's made improvements to the Galaxy Fold. Tech bloggers had such a difficult time with the phone earlier this year that Samsung went back to the drawing board before releasing it to the public. It will cost close to $2,000. Pennsylvania School District will take donations to cover student lunch debt. Now, the Wyoming Valley West School District initially rejected a $22,000 offer. The school board president said it was the parents' responsibility to pay. Now the board president releasing a statement last night saying, in fact, they will take the money. The White House is trying to stop problems from a future skilled labor shortage. It plans to help train more than 1 million workers over the next 5 years in trade skills. Right now, there are about 500,000 open manufacturing jobs. That has the potential to go to nearly 2.5 million by 2028. Companies and trade groups are being asked to expand programs that give workers of all ages new skill sets. Now, this could be huge if you're looking for a better paying job.
I would say to be thinking about both short-term and long-term goals. So not necessarily taking the job that's the easiest or the maximum financial gain in the short term, but where they can acquire that training in the long run, because now is the time to take advantage of skills that they can use to think about their career for many years to come.
Now, companies like Titans of CNC built manufacturing teaching academies, not just in high schools, but also in prisons. People are learning machines that can build sophisticated parts for everything from rockets to submarines. All right, ahead in our lineup, detecting cancer sooner and doing it with the help of man's best friend.
For them, it's just a big game of hide and seek. Like, they love training, like they get so excited.
Now, we're going to take you inside the lab that is getting dogs to find cancer with just a person's breath sample. You're watching the Now.
That's why people feel more comfortable shopping at Meijer.
When it comes to cancer, doctors will tell you the earlier they find it, the better chances of survival. Now, oftentimes that involves some complicated and expensive tests, but a better alternative may be man's best friend. This small farm in a rural part of Central Florida may look typical. The work of the dogs that greet you as you enter is anything but.
We can train dogs to identify specific types of cancer.
Heather Junkeda is the founder of BioScent DX. For the last 3 years, she's been working to harness the power of a dog's snout.
We
we become nose blind to odors, they do just the opposite. That's why, like, when you're walking your dog and he'll get stuck on a spot and sniff, 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 he's gathering all that information up.
She's training dogs to use their keen sense of smell to detect cancer.
What we've discovered is all cancer has a similar odor.
Odors dogs can pick up on, just like drugs or explosives.
Basically, we believe that there is a scent for all types of cancer, okay? Disease has a smell that has been known for centuries.
For them, it's just a big game of hide and seek. Like, they love training. Like, they get so excited.
For researchers, there have already been victories.
Good boy.
In one particular case, the dogs detected breast cancer in a woman, and they were not able to find that in the mammogram until 18 months later.
BioScentDx is doing a study looking for samples from cancer patients who are not doing chemotherapy.
The state of medical science, we can cure most cancers if they're caught early. And that's the big thing, is the early detection of the cancer. That's more important than anything else at this point.
In a recent study, the dogs were 97% accurate in identifying lung cancer. With that being said, Heather urges this is not a replacement for testing.
This is to give that early sign, because so many people are maybe delayed getting their regular screenings that they should get.
And with the help of these dogs and their powerful senses of smell, more people may be able to catch cancer before it's too late. Just incredible what dogs can do. For more information on what that group's doing, check out BioScentDx's website. Let's turn to the news feed. Hundreds of thousands of table saws are being recalled. The Porter Cable brand 10-inch saw's motor could overheat and catch fire. The saws were sold at Lowe's until September of last year. Could gene editing help cure a form of blindness? The first study inside the body to figure that out will start in the U.S. The patients have a disease that lacks a gene that lets them see, so doctors are trying to give those patients the correct gene to see if that will actually give them sight. Robocalls are a problem, and will anything the government does actually stop them? Well, the House just passed a bill aiming to crack down on robocalls that would give regulators more power to stop the calls, and it would also make phone companies put in caller ID technology to help identify spam.
Thank you, Chris. If you are headed on vacation or going out of town, check your hotel bill carefully. More hotels are putting a resort fee on their bills, even if they are not resorts. Working for you, John Matarese shows us what to check for and what you can do so you don't waste your money.
Marriott hotels have been in the news the past few weeks, accused of padding customer bills with hidden resort fees. But it's not just Marriott, where customers are complaining about sneaky fees showing up on their bill after they booked the room. New mom Lauren Kluge says nothing can spoil the end of a summer beach trip like hidden fees on your hotel bill.
I think it makes it really hard for you to budget, so you can't exactly set aside money when you get surprises.
But that's what Marriott, the world's largest hotel chain, is accused of doing. The Washington, D.C. Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against Marriott for deceptive resort fees. It says these fees, which vary from $10 to $90, do not appear in the initial quote, making Marriott appear more competitive. Marriott doesn't comment on litigation. And from the Doesn't That Stink file, a recent Detroit Free Press investigation finding the average Las Vegas hotel adds $30 a night in resort fees. It says many hotels in New York City and San Francisco have added them too, sometimes calling them facility fees since they're not resorts. Doesn't that stink? One solution, check the website Resort Fee Checker to see the fees, such as $44 a night at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. If you're not planning to use a hotel's pool or workout room, call them and ask if they can waive the resort fee. Sometimes it works and you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
Mark, get down, fifth straight evening. We've got beautiful weather in progress. As you look at the shadows on Monument Circle, any clouds that we have will fade away this evening. Let me just point out, we're dry tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Our next opportunity for rain does not return until we get to Monday of next week. Let's zoom into the northeast side of Marion County. That's the golf course at Fort Benjamin Harrison. A great park, 1,700 acres to enjoy on weather like this. Can't beat it, 81 degrees. Temperature in Indy, 80. 79 in Bloomington with a mixture of clouds and sunshine everywhere. The clouds fade away just like the last several days. Temperatures closer to 60 on average. We'll see these overnight lows as warm as 70 by the time we get to early next week. Enjoy this comfort with the low humidity. Tomorrow we'll end the work week with a great day. By noon, we're already at 80. We'll shoot for 86 tomorrow. That'll be about 4 degrees warmer than today. One of the keys will be switching the wind direction, getting the wind more out of the south, and that will boost the temperatures. Western portions of the state with a mixture of clouds and sunshine, just about average for this time of the year. Could be a couple spots that end up a little above the mid-80s. As we look at the weekend, first half of the weekend, a little bit cooler than Sunday, but still lots of sunshine. Temperature warms into the upper 80s. A little humidity starts to return. We'll share with you the 4-day forecast coming up.
There's a debate about whether police can force you to give them your cell phone passcode so they can search your phone. Investigative reporter Jace Larson's here with the story of one man who said no and actually ended up in jail over it. So, Jace, what are people's rights?
Hey, Chris, this is an issue that some experts think the Supreme Court will ultimately decide. If police do ask to search your phone, you can say no and ask them to get a warrant. But here's what happened to William Montanez from Tampa. It started with him not using his turn signal. Police pulled him over, his attorney says, and then smelled pot.
He said, yes, I smoke marijuana. There's marijuana in the vehicle.
But a text message that police saw pop up on his phone is what really started this whole privacy issue. It said, OMG, did they find it? Well, police got a judge to sign a search warrant. Then Montanez refused to give them the code to his phone. So officers hauled him into court.
Is that a yes or a no?
It's a no, Your Honor.
Take him into custody.
Montanez ended up in jail for 40-plus days. Well, eventually an appeals court ordered him released, and then the DA's office dropped the issue.
There's no probable cause to suggest that just because you have a misdemeanor amount of marijuana on your possession, that there's evidence of a crime in a cell phone.
Williams' lawyer says if police made him tell them the passcode, that would be giving up evidence on himself, essentially admitting that the phone was his.
And then if there's information on that cell phone that would incriminate me, then I've just been ordered by the court to violate my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, not to offer information that would incriminate me.
And this is a case that civil rights lawyers elsewhere say is worrisome.
This is the death of privacy in the digital age. This is forced self-incrimination.
Not all prosecutors are willing to go as far as jail. This local prosecutor in Arapahoe County, Colorado, says there are enough private companies around who can access phone data through their own proprietary technology that demanding a passcode really isn't necessary.
That's just not how we've done business in the past. And as long as we have another vehicle to get that information, which is by going to the court and getting a search warrant and then turning it over to the experts in technology, I don't need to go down that road.
The Florida Appeals Court didn't block prosecutors from ever asking for a passcode again. They just said the way it was done in this case was flawed. And what that means is this issue could come up again unless the Supreme Court eventually weighs in.
All right, Jay, so I know we were just talking about passcodes here, but you think of the new iPhone, use your face to unlock that. So where does this come into play?
Well, face, sometimes it's your fingerprint as well. There's really a difference, though. Police can make you give up your finger or open your phone with your face, just like they can legally take your mugshot or your fingerprints when you get arrested. The difference, though, there is that you're not being forced to say anything.
Okay, very interesting. All right, Jace Larson, thank you. And if you were affected by that massive Equifax data breach and you want to be part of the settlement, you can now file a claim. And here's how you do it. Just go to EquifaxBreachSettlement.com, enter your last name and the last 6 digits of your social security number to see if you're eligible. You can also call the settlement administrator. That number is available on the website. Now, finally in our lineup today here on The Now, our new cars have so much technology in them these days that it can be distracting and it can also be frustrating.
Please say again.
I gotta pull over. This is pissing me off.
Please say again.
Hey, we've all been there, right? We're going to tell you what new tests found about just how long those older drivers are getting distracted and how younger drivers are even struggling with this new technology too. That is when The Now continues.